This Saturday from Fort Wayne, Indiana, WWE presents Saturday night's main event and a five-match card that we have no idea which match is going to main event this show. There are certainly options. We'll start with this match that I think if it was for the Women's Intercontinental Championship would main event this show between Sol Ruca and Becky Lynch. And this is one of those things that you'll see from this iteration of Saturday night's main event is they are really going to give that young talent that's been coming up. And I've been talking about WWE this year has sort of been in a transition period where you have Obafemi, you have Trick Williams, you have Javon Evans, you have Fatal Influence now, you have Ethan Page, you have Sol Ruka, you have all these people coming up on the main roster, and it's sort of the transition of those that are going to be the future stars of the business. And the likes of Rhea Ripley and CM Punk and Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns and the veterans of the business. Excuse me. It's very reminiscent, in my opinion, to the time in 2002 when you had all those young kids come up once WWE bought WCW. But, Sol Ruka is going to take on Becky Lynch. Now, this is going to be a non-title match, which I think that they're going to use this opportunity to give Sol Ruka a clean victory. I would even consider putting the Women's Intercontinental Championship on Sol Ruka, but I think the fact that she does not have a main roster win yet, though, even though she's had two terrific matches with the likes of Liv Morgan and Io Sky, I think Sol will win this match with the Soul Snatcher. For the Women's Tag Team Championships, we'll see a rematch between Brie Bella and Paige against Nia Jackson Last Legend, which I think will be a good match, similar to their match on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago. I do think Brie Bella and Paige have been defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against both brands. I do think that they will retain the titles because I think that they will have the championships until Nikki Bella is ready from injury. I think Nikki Bella will then attack Paige. Brie Bella will then side with her twin sister. Maybe they do the situation where, in 2008 the United Champions, if you remember Cody Rhodes and Hardcore Holly teamed against Ted DiBiase and a partner of Ted DiBiase's choosing. His partner ended up being Cody Rhodes, who turned on Hardcore Holly. I can see a situation where Nikki comes back, they all act as friends. You um, Nikki Bella's upset, um, and you get the titles off Brie and Paige, but then Nikki and Brie can win them back. And then Paige needs a partner to fight against Nikki and Brie, and her partner is her best friend AJ Lee. That's how I would book it. But I do think again, Paige and Brie Bella will retain the Women's Tag Team Championships. Also, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss are in a six-woman tag team match against Fatal Influence. I could see this match, to be honest with you, main eventing the show because of Fatal Influence is one of the best booked true heels. And I was thinking about it. I think that they are the first heel stable in WWE, the first heel woman's faction since the Riot Squad when Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Ruby Riot busted on the scene. But JC Jane is clearly a star. I think they're building JC Jane versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship eventually. And obviously you have three, incredible main event talent in Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa Bliss on the other side. That you could justify main eventing the show. They're gonna do the whole thing where, will Charlotte and Rhea get along? I hope they sort of don't. I hope for this, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and they do just get along because I think Rhea and Charlotte as a tag team would actually get over pretty well and be pretty badass. But I do think that Fatal Influence will pick up the victory here, and I'm going to say that Charlotte Flair is going to take the fall. I do think that there's a possibility that, Jade Cargill, Meechin, and B-Fab get involved as they try to build the Rhea Jade match going into Clash now. Penta will take on Ethan Page for the Intercontinental Championship in a match where Javon Evans and Rusev have been sort of involved. They've been flirting around the Intercontinental Championship. I think Penta's a star. I would not main event the card though with Penta versus Ethan Page. That feels like more of an NXT POE to be honest with you than it does Saturday Night's main event. Excuse me. Um, I would not put the championship on Ethan here, and I would not have Rusev or Javon Evans get involved. I think it would be too much. I think you need to tell the story here between Penta and Ethan Page. Maybe Rusev comes down on stage or something. I don't think he gets physically involved. I would have loved to see a fatal four-way here, though, between all four of these men. You could have justified that being a main event. I know they just did a fatal four-way on Saturday Night's main event the last time where you had the likes of Randy Orton and Damian Priest and Trick Williams and Sami Zayn for the number one contendership at the Royal Rumble. I get it, but I think that would have been the better way to go. Again, I think it's a good match. Good test for Ethan Page here, but I think ultimately Penta will retain the Intercontinental Championship. And so I do think the main event of the show will be the Street Profits taking on the Vision for the World Tag Team Championships, who, let's be honest, since winning the World Tag Team Championships, they have not really defended the World Tag Team Championships. Paul Heyman will come down with the Vision. Seth Rollins, who defeated Austin Theory and then got attacked by Braun Breaker, and there's been teasing between Rollins and the Profits. I don't think Rollins cost the Profits the match. I actually think that Rollins will help the Street Profits here to keep will show that he needs um adversaries, if you will, to help take out the Vision, and I think he helps the Street Profits, and I think the show ends with the Street Profits on top holding the World Tag Team Championships. Are we of three championships defended? I do think that one of the championships should change hands. The WWE does not want this show to feel like a glorified house show, which I'll be honest, it does. You know, all of these matches couldn't main event on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. There's not that one big star. I mean, you look across the board, is Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, are those your biggest stars on this card? I mean, who is the biggest star in the men's division on this card? Is it Penta? Because it's Penta, Austin Theory, Ethan Page, Logan Paul, and the Street Profits. Um, but I do think that this match main event because I think Seth Rollins will help the Street Profits win, and the show will cut off the air with Rollins and the Street Profits getting one over the Vision. So to recap, I do have Sol Ruka defeating Becky Lynch. I do have Fatal Influence defeating Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Rhea Ripley by pinning Charlotte Flair. I do have Brie Bella and Paige retaining the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Nia Jax and Last Legend. I have Penta retaining the Intercontinental Championship Queen against Ethan Page with no interference. I do think Seth Rollins helps the Street Profits win. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.